Hello and welcome to video 1 for Overhaul Your Overwhelm. This is going to start off the overview why we need to actually start with connecting to ourselves. There was a recent women's wellbeing study that found only 15% of women across the globe are happy with their life. 19 to 29-year-olds and then 30 to 49-year-old females in Australia have the lowest level of well-being compared to any other group in the study. What they also found was that 8 out of 10 women have felt unable to cope and have felt overwhelmed in the past year. So you're certainly not alone in feeling like this. Women spend so much time disconnecting from how we truly feel, and that we are so out of touch with what deep heart and soul self-connection and awareness actually feels and looks like. Being disconnected from our soul can lead us down paths and get us making decisions that when we actually get the opportunity to take a step back, we just wonder, how the hell did I end up here? So what is self-awareness and connection to self? Simply put, self-awareness is an awareness of the self, with the self being what makes one's identity unique. It's important to recognize that self-awareness is not just only what we notice about ourselves, but also how we notice and monitor our inner world. Have you ever held judgment towards yourself regarding the thoughts or experiences you have? Well, if so, then you're not alone, and there is time to work towards being non-judgmental of yourself. This, of course, is much easier said than done. If non-judgmental quality is an essential component of self-awareness, how do we work towards that? So, as we notice what's happening inside of us, we can acknowledge and accept the thoughts and feelings that come up as the inevitable part of being human, rather than giving ourselves a really hard time about it. Self-awareness goes beyond accumulating knowledge about ourselves. It's also about paying attention to the inner state with a beginner's mind and an open heart. Our mind is super skillful at storing information about how we react to a certain event to form a blueprint of our emotional life. And then that information often ends up conditioning our mind to react in a certain way as we encounter a similar event in the future. By being self-aware, this allows us to actually be really present and conscious to this conditioning and preconceptions of the mind, and that can help us free the mind. The ability to be able to monitor our emotions and our thoughts from moment to moment is absolutely critical and key to understanding ourselves better. It will also help us be at peace with who we are, and will help us to be proactive rather than reactive in managing our thoughts, emotions, and behaviours. If self-awareness and connection to self is so important, why aren't we all self-aware? The most obvious answer, I guess, is that most of the time we're simply not there to observe ourselves. In other words, we're not paying attention to what's going on inside of us or around us. So over half the time, it has been found, is that we operate on automatic pilot. And what that means is that we're actually unconscious of what we're doing or how we feel as our mind wanders from somewhere else to somewhere else, and then here and back to now and then over there. And in addition to our mind wandering and it being really busy, is that we have some internal biases that affect our ability to have an accurate understanding of ourselves. So we actually tend to believe the stories that go on in our heads, those narratives that support our already existing sense of self. So for example, if we have a solid belief that we are a high quality and loyal friend, then we're likely to interpret events, even ones where we perhaps made a mistake, as our anomaly, as our identity, as that loyal friend. So this whole initial video is about just sharing with you why it is super important to connect with ourselves. Over the next 3 weeks after this one, we're actually going to be digging in a little bit deeper and getting curious about who it is that we are. What you're going to be doing, the tasks for this week, is an activity audit, and I've done a video demonstration of that to assist you in doing your activity audit. I'm also going to get you to do some journaling, and I'm going to put those prompting questions into the email with this video. And then you don't need to share those with me unless of course you want to, but they're just to get your head ticking as you start to get curious about who you are and what makes you you. Have fun exploring. See you soon.